You already know what the heck is going on. You would think I would learn my lesson after the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times we've done this and I've been literally miserable, but here we are anyway. Today we are reading for 24 hours and unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it is for 24 hours straight. So you want to know something funny? It's more like funny I'm terrified instead of like funny haha. I have worked the entire day and I was up at 7 a.m. and we are starting at 5:33. So you love that for me. We're reading nothing but spooky today, ladies and gents, so get ready. Masters of Death, Assistant to the Villain, Salem's Lot, which will be my second Stephen King book. And as you guys remember from the Stephen King vlog, I am a fan. I'm terrified, but I am a fan. This is about vampires. It's about Salem, Massachusetts, and I've heard nothing but good things. And I definitely want to read this now because I heard that soon they'll be making a show or a movie. So I want to watch that as soon as I finish this. Then, because this is probably going to be terrifying, I want something light and fluffy, but still be spooky. So I do want to read Assistant to the Villain. So that will be number 2. And I hope that this will help us with like the nighttime because y'all know how I get in the nighttime. And last but not least, the home stretch will be Masters of Death. This time, I am not going to say we are reading 3 books. I am just going to hope for the best. And hopefully this time, because I'm not saying it, it'll happen. We'll see. Now, I did get this on my Kindle already. So instead of reading it with the physical book, I am going to read on my Kindle because I feel like I'm lightning fast on my Kindle. I will also be listening to spooky music because why not make it worse? Just a heads up, I've already been up since 7 a.m. So by the time this ends, it'll be like 36 hours straight of me just raw dogging life. Pause. So we are not stopping the timer whatsoever. We're just going to keep it going whether I'm talking to you or not because I need some sleep. I need to be a little bit sane, okay? I'm terrified. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Are you guys ready? Because I'm not. Ready, set, go. But first, I would love to thank today's sponsor, Notion. Now, if you don't know what Notion is, first of all, you've been living under a rock for a little bit because I've personally been using Notion for at least the last 2 years. So it's so cool to be working with them this time because it's been something that has helped me organize my life for so long now. Notion is like the end-all be-all for productivity and organization. Now, if I had this tool when I was in college, I would have been unstoppable, but unfortunately, I didn't hear about it until after. But you can definitely take advantage of it, especially if you're a student. And the best part is if you're a student, you get it for free. So there's really no reason not to use it. My favorite thing to use it for is when we do like the book wrap-ups. Now you might not know this, but when I do the book wrap-ups, it takes so much research because after I finish a book, I don't know what happens, but I completely forget everything that it was about. So every time we do those wrap-ups, I have to do hours of research and I do all of my research on Notion. So if I ever need to go to that book again, I can press the page for all my books, press that specific book, and then all my information is there. I also love that you can add specific calendars. So for me personally, I have a calendar for all the video ideas I want to film and then when I'm going to post them. So it's literally a tool that you can use for any task. I genuinely use it all the time. And when I first started using Notion, I was a little bit intimidated because I didn't know how it worked, but it's so cool that when you log in, they have different templates for different things. So if you're going in looking for something that you can use for school, like a planner or something, you can just put in planner and their templates and then you can find the one that best fits you. Some of them are paid, some of them are not, but all of them are really wonderful. So if you want to be more on top of not only your schoolwork, but maybe your productivity in your personal life or any of your hobbies and goals, definitely check out the link down below and try out their new Notion AI to help you with your course load or just your personal life. Thank you again, Notion, for sponsoring this portion of the video. I love you guys. I literally use you all the time. All right, back to the video. I realized how long this book actually is because we've been reading for about an hour now and I'm on page 65, right? And I was like, wow, we're making good progress. And then I looked at my Kindle and I pressed the thing for the time to see how much time is left in the book. Baby, it says 13 more hours. It's been an hour and we are here. So we can completely forget about reading 3 books this time because there's just no way. I didn't realize how thick this boy is. Like, and my Kindle time is pretty accurate because I read a lot of books on my Kindle and at this point it knows me pretty well. And if it says 13 hours, it's gonna be 13 hours. Also, so far the book is still very slow. I'm realizing with Stephen King, the reason why he is so good is because his books are so detailed, which naturally makes them a little bit slower. So the beginnings are very slow, but I do realize that once it starts getting into the meat of the story, it's gonna fly by. But again, we're like literally here. So nothing has really happened. They're just building up the story. This guy came back to his old town after like some tragedy that he's been through. And then he's trying to get a little bit more acclimated, and he's obsessed with this house and he wants to live in this house, but someone died in that house before. But now he's trying to see if he can rent it, and at this point he's not able to. And so that's all I figured out so far. Literally 65 pages. That's it. That's all I know. So I'm still really intrigued, and I know that I have to give it more time, but I do wish it was a little bit faster. I'm on page 140 at this point, and so far it's still very slow and nothing is really happening. But I'm realizing with Stephen King, he is so detailed. But just like with Misery, the things are slowly starting to add up. And now when I hear different people's perspective, because it's written in third person, so I'm hearing everyone's perspective and certain things are happening. And now I see that the story is building up. So I know, like, maybe not this 100 pages, but maybe the next 100, it's really going to start getting good. And now I'm excited, which is so cool. Like, I appreciate his stories because he writes them as movies. He doesn't write them as a book. And like, they're not necessarily fast paced, but they're quick with it. With him, he is like very meticulous in the details. I feel like he definitely lives in the mindset of the devil's in the details, which is so interesting because now I'm starting to see things and now I'm starting to get a little bit anxious, like a very, very little bit, but I know it's going to build on top of each other, which is so cool. I love hearing everyone's perspective in this because it looks like we're all looking at the same image, but just from different perspectives. And that's really cool because certain people see things that someone else didn't see or didn't mention. And I just love seeing the full picture in that way. Also, it is now 9:30 p.m. so I'm starting to feel it a little bit because this is when I usually go to bed, but we're gonna power on.
5 hours later.
It is 2 o'clock in the morning. The book is starting to pick up, but I am also starting to fall down because I'm starting to get tired. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep a few times, but here we are. Because I'm pretty sure I fell asleep a few times, I turned off the timer to talk to you. As we predicted, things are starting to pick up. Things are starting to add up. Everyone in the town is starting to have weird experiences with certain things, and no one understood. They were like weird, eerie, like random coincidences. But baby, no, they're not coincidences anymore. So let me tell you what happened. So at first, these two guys, they come into this town and they're like, we want to open up a shop. And everyone was like, do you have money? And they were like, yeah. And then after they had the money, they bought the new house. It's a house that kind of draws everyone in, but for the wrong reasons. So they get into that house and they open a furniture shop. And once they move in, all of a sudden the town's acting weird. People are acting weird. Things are happening. Nothing's making sense. And so now, slowly but surely, things are starting to fall together. And again, remember, this book is about vampires. So what y'all think is happening? Vampires are attacking. You see where I'm coming from? Now, at this point, I believe the people who moved in are like the original OG vampires at this point. And they're starting to like eat a little bit in the town and people are starting to notice. But it's not like Twilight, which I hoped it would be like. Someone did warn me. They were like, it's not going to be the romantic vampire you think it's going to be. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, that's the only type of vampire I know. And now I'm reading this and I was like, you're not even going to kiss them first? You're not even going to devote your undying love to them? You're just gonna drink? Takes out half the fun. So now I have to look at vampires differently, which is very hard. Edward has made that very hard for me, but I am enjoying myself. I can't lie, I am enjoying myself. We're almost to the 300 page mark and we read for like 7 hours. So I don't know how those two are adding up. I just blame it on me falling asleep here and there, but we are still projected to finish this in 9 hours. Why do I do this to myself? This is like my second pair of eye patches too. I refuse to let my skin deal with the consequences of my mental illness and reading for 24 hours straight. So we're gonna continue to put these bad boys on until I wake up or until this is over. I'm just gonna pretend this is a bad dream. And this is a bad dream. I'm not Beyonce.
Correct!
I know I look like her. I had coffee again at 10 if you couldn't tell. And I'm just here to keep the party going. I think I won't allow myself. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be strong. I'm not gonna allow myself to have another cup of coffee. Another cup of coffee. Lord, I'm going down real fast. I'm not gonna let myself have another cup of coffee until like 5 a.m. I know my doctor hates me right now. Is punching the air right now. Because what am I doing really? Really, what is this for? It's for you, so you better like and subscribe. Also, I have the feeling that it's not really healthy to be sitting down for 24 hours and not moving. So I think for the next hour or so, I'm gonna read standing up, just so that the circulation is still good and I don't have like blood clots, you know what I'm saying? Trying to think smarter and not harder. I will say as well, Stephen King really is that guy. The details are starting to add up, and the character development. At first I was like, why are we learning about every little person in the town? Like, they don't matter. I do not care. You know what I mean? But then as I continue to read, I'm like, they do matter. I do care, because all of their little stories are like puzzle pieces, and now they're coming together, and now I'm starting to see the picture. I'm like, whoa, this happened from there, so that must have meant that this person was actually this person. And I'm like, whoa, he's playing chess, not checkers. He's playing chess, not checkers. Okay? Yeah. Okay, I feel better now. We're gonna get back to reading. I'm gonna put the timer back on. I can't believe we do this for real, like in real life. This is kind of insane. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the good news is tomorrow, when this video ends, probably around like 6 p.m., I am going to take melatonin gummies, turn off all the lights in my room, close the blinds, and sleep until like 8 a.m. That's gonna be good.
6.5 hours later.
Stuff is finally starting to get real. I'm at the halfway mark officially. They didn't want to believe that there were vampires in this town, but something happened, and they looked at each other and they were like, oh, there are vampires in this town. Also, we are currently at 12 hours and 21 minutes. I did fall asleep for 2 hours. I'm pretty positive, because I was on the couch and I looked at the time and I was like, okay, it's 4 a.m. We can charge through this. And then I blinked and then it was 6. So that's why we're in my room. Now that the book is finally starting to pick up, I'm invested. Yes, it's 7 a.m. now, and I did get 2 hours of sleep that I wasn't supposed to get, but now I feel energized. Now I feel ready. Also, I'm wearing a Snuggie because it's 65 degrees in the house. We sleep at 65 because it's really comfortable when I'm in bed, but when I'm up, it's freezing. So I have sweats on and a Snuggie. Anyway, I dare say, I like this better than Misery.
Wow.
Who said that? Who said that? I mean, but are you surprised? You know I'm a sucker for vampires, and it's just so good. Even though at this point in time, the vampires aren't necessarily like the good ones that I like, that we usually focus on, but it's still fun to see them out in the world, you know what I mean? So that's cool. It also makes me want to visit Salem. Like, I just want to do that one time in my life. I feel like that'd be a really cool like staycation for the weekend. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Am I crazy, or should I do it? I think I should do it. It does feel like we've been reading this for way longer than we should have. I can definitely read faster than this. There were times where I was talking to y'all or I was reading and then I wasn't reading, and now we're at 12.5 hours and I'm still on the same book, and I just want to see if I can get through 3 books. I know it's probably not going to happen today, but oh, to dream. I definitely want to read the second book at least, though. It says we have 7 hours left in this book, so I want to power through. I really want to put like my game face on, get back into sports mode, and see this through. Okay? Unfortunately, I realized a little too late that when I stopped the timer last time, I forgot to start it again. So for the last few hours, I was reading and the timer was not on. But I'm not going to change it or anything, because I did fall asleep for about 2.5 hours, and that's how long it's like elapsed. So we're just going to leave it as is, and I'm definitely going to be reading for 24 hours now. Yay! I'm so happy. It is currently 9:57 in the morning. We are going strong at this point. There's only 5 hours left in this book, which sounds insane, but also there was 13 before, so we're kind of killing it. And now things are starting to hit the fan. People are starting to realize that all the evil, all the disappearances, all the fear originated with the house. They call it the Marnstein house, and this is where the guy beforehand, like, something happened to him. And now, years later, that evil is starting up again. And people are realizing that all of it is originating from this house. And so they're trying to migrate towards it. They're trying to, like, swallow their fear and go into it, and things are starting to happen. And I just love the descriptive language that Stephen King uses because you genuinely feel like you're inside of it. I was actually reading this morning around like 8 a.m. and my brother, he woke up and he was just gonna come in and check in on me. I'm listening to like Halloween lo-fi, so it's very eerie, very scary, and we are clearly reading a scary book by Stephen King, like literally the king of horror. I'm reading the book. I'm completely entranced in it. I've been up all night. I'm fully in the story. Tell me why. I'm laying on the floor right here, like this. My brother comes in, taps me on my shoulder. My soul left my body.
That was so scary. Thank you.
I was so scared and I literally was like, and he was so sorry. He felt so bad that he did that, but I was literally so shook. I was like, oh, this is my time. I'm about to get bit by a vampire, but like not in the cute way. And it was just so insane. And that's how I knew this story is good. The fact that that fear was already right there on the surface, just waiting to be awakened, that's how you know I'm in the story fully. So I'm having a grand old time. Right now at this point, I'm thinking I'm gonna rate it a 5-star, but I don't know yet just because, you know, we haven't finished. And yes, the beginning was very slow, but we have to realize this is a 600-page book, 600+ page book. So of course it has to be a little bit slow because he is so meticulous in the details and he makes the story all encompassing. Like he doesn't leave any doubt. The plot and the setting are fully formed. So I'm realizing the slow starts are necessary, especially when he has thickum books like this, you know? And you know what I've been enjoying doing? As I'm reading it, I'm also marking where I am after every large chapter, just so I can see like where I'm at. And I really like that because now it feels like we're making progress. When you're reading on a Kindle, you kind of have no reference. So I really enjoy doing that. We're just gonna keep going strong. I think the next time I'm gonna check in with y'all is when I'm done with this book because we gotta get going. I really wanna read these other books. Honestly, the most important one for me is Assistant to the Villain, but we'll see how much we can get into this. Now that we do have an additional 3 hours, I do feel like we can finish it and I feel completely awake now. I did have another cup of coffee, so we'll just see how this goes.
Much later.
We finished Salem's Lot. This was so good. I rated it 5 stars just because the detail was absolutely insane. I felt like I had a full movie going on in my head as I was reading this, but it was so long. I think next time I would love to enjoy this like over a week or so instead of in one night. But I digress. That was good. Now we're on Assistant to the Villain. I'm already 90 pages into this. I just wanted to get started right away. I really want to at least finish the 2 books before this thing is up, and we're already at 18 hours and 41 minutes. I did pause it just for this last time because at this point, if I continue to read at the pace that I am, it's going to be the exact time I need to finish this book. So that makes me excited. I really hope that we can finish it. I am reading it on my Kindle again just because I read faster on my Kindle, but I have the physical book as well. And I just think it's so pretty. But this book is tall. Like, it's 300 and something pages, I think like 350, but really it's way more than that because the font is small and the pages are huge. But I am enjoying the story. It's very cliche and it's like enemies to lovers vibe, but they're more annoyed with each other than enemies, so that's okay. But I am enjoying it. I think it's really cute. It's something light and fluffy and the perfect like palate cleanser after reading Salem's Lot, because Salem's Lot was scary. Like, there was so much going on with that and I felt like I was on edge the entire time. So this is a little bit of a reprieve, so I'm happy. We're gonna keep going strong and keep reading. We have exactly 20 minutes left, thank God for that. And I think we have about 100 pages left in this book. And I hate to admit it, but I do not like it. I don't dislike it, but I just thought it was gonna be better. I feel like it's very cliche and almost a little bit like juvenile. It's about this girl who works for a villain, assistant to the villain. They slowly start to fall in love with each other, but it kind of gives the vibe of an enemies to lovers type of situation, but it's very obvious. Like, I know in general, enemies to lovers isn't really realistic, but this is a little bit too formulaic, like cookie cutter, you know what's gonna happen type of thing. And it's kind of disappointing. I feel like I'm always seeing what's gonna happen before it happens, and it just feels very very generic almost. I mean, it's not a bad book. I think at this point I'm just rating it a 3-star. Like, it's cute enough, but I did have higher hopes for this because this was literally everywhere on BookTok. Everyone was saying how this was such an amazing book. You have to read it, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm reading it. I'm like, it's okay. It's like a fun one-time thing. Like, I wouldn't obsess over it. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but it's like, oh, good enough. You know what I mean? So there's that. We're just gonna finish strong at this point and go to bed. Go to freaking sleep. I've ever been this tired in my life, but guys, we did it. We did it.
We did it, Joe.
We read for 24 motherfreaking gosh darn hours. Let's watch it turn, ladies and gents. Yay! 24 hours. Let's never do this again. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I've really been up for like 40 hours straight. But we did it. Salem's Lot was really good. We only read 2 books this time. And really it was like 1 3/4 because I didn't finish this one. I still think I'm going to finish it tomorrow. It's pretty good. It's like decent enough. It's all right. I just wish it wasn't so cliche, you know? It's good enough to continue. And even if it wasn't, y'all know that I would finish it anyway. But I digress. This was fun in like a really horrible way. It's like fun like when you look back at something and you're like, I can't believe I did that. That was crazy. And you have a little bit of an anecdote for your friends. That's the kind of fun that this is. But we did it. We read 2 books. One was fantastic. One was a 5-star. And then one was a 3-star. So if you put that together, we had a pretty decent time. I think I'm going to go to sleep now and never wake up again. So this might be the last video you see of me. I love y'all so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. It is currently 9:35 p.m. That whole timer situation really set us back a bit, but thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. You better like and subscribe after this. You better like and subscribe. I didn't just get all these bags for nothing. Okay. All right, love you. Bye.